here at the church. And so when we were looking at changing our communication software, we were looking specifically for things that we could automate. We're a very small staff. We've got a church of about 400 people and just
Hi,
6
Kristen.
staff.
Kristen,
Uh-huh.
I'm so sorry.
Sure.
I just sent me a note. I was not recording.
Okay. We can start over.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so
No problem.
just go ahead and start over and just tell me what you said in terms of introduce yourself once more.
Okay. Okay, sure. So my name is Kristen Waddle, and I am the communications director at Nebo Crossing Church, and that's in Nebo, North Carolina. And I have been in this position for about 6 years now. And throughout the course of the 6 years, we have used various church communication softwares. We've used everything from my personal cell phone, texting people individually or in groups. We've used different softwares. And so one of the things that led me to PastorsLine while we were looking at our softwares was that we noticed we were having a backdoor issue. We were not very good at guest follow-up, and we had a lot of people attending, but not there's a lot of turnover too. And so what we were looking for was something that we could automate, something that was sustainable. We're a small staff, and we're a church of about 400, but we're getting probably 10 to 15 guests every week. And so we needed a way to capture those guests, but then also a way to automate us following up with them because we are such a small staff. And I like that I can also let a volunteer use it. I like that I can put it on, I have an app on the cell phone, and so I can get notifications, but I'm also not having to give everybody my personal cell phone number either. So we've used PastorsLine for about a year now, and it has just been really great for our ministry.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. So what would you say was some of the, you did mention it, but I may ask you the same question in different ways.
That's fine.
What would you say was some of the challenges specifically before using PastorsLine? I know you mentioned some backdoor issues. Do you have maybe a list or a few things that were the things you were trying to solve? I guess integration with CCB was critical. You wanted to text, but also integrate, also have a separate number. Would you say those are some of the challenges?
Sure. So some of the things we were running into was that our current software wasn't automated. It was up to, honestly, me to remember to do it, me to find time in my schedule to carve out 30 minutes every Monday to follow up with every guest that came in, or to track people down as they came in the church and put a card in their hand and then get them to give us their information. People tend to guard their contact information, and so we wanted to make it as easy as possible. But then at the same time, we wanted to make the follow-up on our end as streamlined as possible too. So some of the challenges we ran into was looking for something that would integrate with CCB, with our process queues there. And then also something that was easy for our guests to do. I love that they can just text a keyword to a number and they can sign up for just a whole host of groups, whether that's our VIP group for first-time guests or our Kids Crossing group, or, hey, I want to take part of this small group, text this keyword. I love that they can do that too.
Oh, thank you. What would you say, and we will talk about what's not working at the end, because I would want to get you on camera, because, we actually revamping the system and we want to take those feedback. But go ahead and tell me what is working, what is working really well within PastorsLine for you. Okay.
So one of the things that works really well, I have been using it for the last 2 weeks, is a first-time guest follow-up. So the text on Sunday to sign up for it, and then the following Wednesday and the following Saturday, I send them another text saying, honestly, I say, hey, this is Pastor Bob. Hey, I hope you can make it on Sunday. And I'll say something about the sermon. I thank them for attending, and it sounds like it comes from any of our staff members. We can do it that way. One of the things that works really well is that I can get notifications on my phone, so that even when somebody texts it in the afternoon or in the evening when I'm home, it's not coming to my personal cell phone, so I don't have to get it right then, but then I can also go online or go on my phone, either one, and respond to guests on my time without it cluttering up my notifications at home.
Okay, excellent. Talk to me about multiple users. How many users do you guys have within your system, and what if you do? I haven't checked. What roles are they? What are the purpose? What are they doing? What roles are they playing?
I just have one right now. It's just me. I can tell you what I plan to do, and I can say it like I plan to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Go ahead and share what you
Okay.
plan to. Mhm.
Okay. One of the things we plan to do in the next coming weeks is allow volunteers to help us with our guest follow-up process. So one of the things that we ask people is, hey, if there's any questions we can answer for you about the church, just text back to this number. We're happy to help. And so I'm ready to turn that over to some of our volunteers who are just really great at that. And so I see us using the multiple user function as more faces and more people that can create a relationship with guests on the church's behalf. So I am able to delegate some of my responsibilities as a communication director and multiply myself over the course of several volunteers, so that I'm not tied down to always being the one to communicate with every single guest that comes through our doors.
That's powerful, and I think that's one of our strengths. And as you continue to look into the use, we do have several roles. So if you want to assign a volunteer just as a user that has access to a specific number or a group of people, you can do that too.
Okay.
What we notice, most of the other competitors or vendors who service the church, that's not something they focus on. And when in the churches we work with, we recognize that was one area we can improve on.
Right. Okay.
It's not just a user, it's actually a user you can assign credits, you can assign numbers.
Nice. So I can give them, honestly, a monthly budget then of,
Right.
hey, you've got this many credits. That's awesome.
Correct.
Okay.
And how many numbers are you guys using right now? Just one?
Just the one phone number, yeah.
And as you think about it, what you'd want to think about as you grow, you may, if it's just guest follow-up, is perfect. As you add different roles, you may consider adding additional number for a specific purpose. And this is all dependent on your growth and your goals.
Right.
Because it just helps to segment, things a little bit.
So I use it also for getting word out to the church very quickly. I have one text group, and we just call it Stay in the Loop. And so anybody that wants to stay in touch with the church, text the word loop to our number. And so that way I know I can put a quick announcement in their hands very quickly. And I'm not relying on them to go check Facebook to see, we changed the time of something, or remind them, hey, candy donations are due for trunk or treat this weekend. I am able to put something in their hands just as quickly as they would get a text message from me.
Excellent. I don't know if I replied to you, Kristen, but we did fix that issue.
Okay, great.
We saw he fixed it. So monitor it for me on the CCB duplicate.
Okay.
Things. What do you think about smart syncing? Were you able to use it before smart syncing? Is it an improvement? And be honest here, I would just love to get your honest feedback on it. Is it a hassle?
I'm not sure what Smart Sync is. Explain that.
I'm so sorry. When somebody texts in, are your groups connected to CCB?
Okay, yes.
And then when you have to go in and you have to click merge to actually validate that the information either match an existing record or to create a new one. Have you used that at least once?
I've only used it the one time. I do like that I can go in and monitor who is adding to a group. For instance, we had one gentleman that signed up for alerts for a kids ministry, and I didn't necessarily want him doing that. So I like that I could do that. I liked kind of that he was in a hold there before it synced him with the group. And then I also liked some of the parents have texted their kid's name instead of theirs in our autoresponder. And so I liked that I was able to go in and make our data more, what is the word there? I've lost the word. It's not secure. It's
in sync or matched or accurate.
Yeah, I like that I was able to go in and make sure that our data was accurate and keep an eye on that. That way we didn't end up with just a bunch of junk in our database.
Okay. I know this smart syncing feature could improve. For example, you mentioned we don't have a discard or reject option in the smart syncing. So for example, the gentleman who you didn't necessarily want to be synced over, there isn't a way he would be hold forever.
Right.
So we would definitely put that on the list. We did fix two things. We made it smarter. So it should work where if there's a perfect match, it should sync right over. So that would be less issues. And Anne had given me that feedback. So monitor the smart syncing for me.
I will, yeah.
And let me know how it goes. You know, our approach, for some, they wouldn't like it, but our approach is build useful features, build it quickly, test it and do a good job, and then release it. And let more people give it, rather than take a year and then come out brand, you know, big surprise, and then a year later it's like, okay, I could have been using this a year before. So that's a little bit of what we hope to change this, as I said, revamp and kind of be more deliberate. I think we focus on making the CCB integration really well. I believe we have the best integration. And the reason I can say that is it is because of all the options we offer, but we took a whole year just working 50% of the time on CCB. So I think most of our users are actually CCB because of it.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit before I think about some things that I may not have asked. So I know you use one number, you don't have multiple users, and obviously you're not using the multi-organization feature. In fact, that's part of what I hope to get. So that's why I'm thinking about that, but it's good to know what you plan to do with it. What about the keywords? So you can create different keywords. Have you tried the option where you can create multiple keywords for one trigger? So you can put guests, or you can create more than one keywords for a particular group.
Yes, so I made some triggers for a couple different keywords, and that put them into process queues for our follow-up. And I was very excited to see that. I actually tried that last week while we were building one of our guest follow-up processes in CCB. I was able to go automatically add somebody to a process queue through all of that, and I was very excited about that.
That's excellent. Let's talk a little bit about what you'd hope to improve. And this is a very honest review. And we know where we are and where we position. We know we are not necessarily best looking at web app or mobile app. So we understand that, and we want to attract people who are okay with that. So I'd just love to have your honest opinion on, we heard what worked well, but where some areas we can improve. Maybe you can see that we have been improving. Just kind of give us a little bit feedback on that aspect, where we can improve, and maybe possibly the fact that we respond quickly to your requests and stuff. I
definitely do want to talk about that. I have been so impressed by the level of personal support that I get from PastorsLine. I know that if I'm having an issue, all I have to do is turn on the chat function or send an email, and I know that I'll get a personal phone call or a chat back from Jason or Ann or somebody there that I know is cares about my problem and wants to get it fixed and wants to dive down in and find out why the problem is there. And so I have been very, very impressed with the level of support I get from PastorsLine. Excellent.
And I know you kind of, it's almost like you don't want to talk bad about it, but what
I can't think of anything.
What are some areas to improve? I know the design maybe can be improved a little bit.
I would like to see better response in Safari. So I use a Mac probably exclusively at our church here. And so, and I'm always using Safari. That's just my go-to. And so I would like to see that better, but I'm also okay going to Chrome or something if I see Safari's not responding. Okay.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being. You're such it's encouraging to speak with you. I can see the struggle to find something bad to talk about our product, which is helpful. Some people, and they would give us sermon notes, right? On the color, the UI. It's almost like they want PastorsLine to work better, and they're kind of trying to. So that's helpful to also know as well for those who actually get on a phone call with us for 30 minutes to tell us how we can improve. If somebody don't want to use something, they just don't bother, right? They don't even. Right. So we know in either camps, people want it to work. Sure. So I appreciate that. And do you have any questions that you think we can ask Kristen?
I don't. I have a whole list of questions that I thought, to ask. They've all been answered. So I don't have anything else to add. It's nice to meet you face to face.
Excellent. Well, any final words for us, Kristen? Anything that you would want to share?
Honestly, just thank you so much for the amount of time that you spend in this. I recognize you do see it as a ministry, and I appreciate that. And thank you for taking the time to pray with me. I don't think I've ever had a customer service person do that with me before, and so that's pretty great.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And I have one more question that came to my mind. Tell me just a little bit about the church, so outside of technology, just a little bit of history, how you like the church, maybe how long you've been there. I think you mentioned that. Just those kind of stuff.
Okay, sure. So the church was started as Eastside Baptist Church in 1978, and actually my grandfather was the founding pastor. Oh. And I worked at a family business up until 2012, and our church had went through a lot of changes at the time. We lost the pastor that was in the middle of my grandfather and the current pastor now. And so in all of that, we changed the name of the church. We took Baptist off the name so that we could reach more people in our community. We're in a very small town in North Carolina, and it's full of Baptist churches. And honestly, something's not working right because there's a ton of kind of drugs, a lot of issues in our county. And so we changed the name of our church to be more open to more people in our community. And so I came on staff in 2012, and I've been here since then. So I've been at the church honestly since I was born. But I've been full-time on staff for 6 years.
Okay, excellent. What would you say the church is known for or good at, or where you focus, where you think the church, the role it plays in its community, the contribution you make?
One of the things people always say about our church is how friendly and open we are. There's a whole lot of churches in our area that want you to fit a standard before you walk in the door. And one of the things that we're known for is truly loving people, like open arms, accepting them right when they walk in our door, before they walk in our door. We're not expecting people to look a certain way, talk a certain way before they get here. And that's definitely one of the things we're known for in our community. One of the things we strive for, honestly.
Okay, thank you so much. Could you, oh no, that's perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really, really appreciate it. And this is going to go a long way. And hopefully what we're doing here today is going to attract more people. And we have been growing. And our intent is to attract as much people as we can that fits our culture, is open to the product, so that we have more money to reinvest.
Right.
So I appreciate this.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm glad to help any way I can.
Thank you. You have a blessed day, okay?
Thank you. I hope your head gets to feeling better.
Yes, it has. Okay, bye.
Good. Bye.
Okay. So let me